Hello and welcome to Om Shanti Healing's podcast, The Spiritual Connection. My name is Jill. I have been in the healing arts since 2008, self-employed, helping people with physical, emotional, spiritual, and energetic issues. I have learned a lot over the years of doing healing work, and now I'm ready to share with the masses. I hope you do enjoy my podcast. Subscribe below if it feels good to you, and let's get rolling. Hello, and welcome to episode 7. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a painful lower back, pelvis, and legs as it relates to the root and sacral chakra imbalances. If you have pain in your lower back, pelvis, and legs that is consistently irritating your life, there may be more going on there than just a physical problem. The energy that flows in these areas relates to the root and sacral energy centers. There's more on the chakras in episode 2. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine and is the color red. It holds a lot of emotion and traumas around survival, support from family, a sense of belonging, feeling safe, and so much more. The sacral chakra is behind the navel, and it is the color orange. It supports our sexual center, sensuality, joy, and reproduction. All pain stems deeply from a traumatic or disturbing experience in your life. Or if you have held pain in a specific part of your body for a really long time and have had multiple experiences relating to stuffing in this specific area, you're going to be more vulnerable in that center for more injury and more continuation of unknowingly stuffing your struggles in that specific spot. That is if you do not heal this area, which is possible. Let us discuss the physical components to this pain and how it can evolve over time into structural misalignments and tissue compression. To simplify anatomy for you, we're going to be talking on lower lumbar spine and abdomen from the ribs to the hips, the pelvic girdle, and the legs. The lumbar spine has 5 vertebrae that has a slight concave curvature to it that helps to support the ribs and the weight of your upper body. There are many layers of strong muscle here to stabilize the spine and protect our organs. They also provide all ranges of motion, like bending forward and backward, lateral flexion and extension, as well as twisting. These muscles attach in multiple places along the midline from the pelvic spine to the rib. The core muscles that wrap around the sides and stabilize the front of our bodies can get very tight with stress and anxiety. There are many layers here, both deep and superficially, that can cause the spine to be pulled one way too far. Or it can pull the ilium, which is our pelvic bone, up. It could pull that bone forward or back, causing pain at the SI joint. They can pull ribs down laterally on one side, or pull them down in front, closing up our core space and pulling the curve from our lumbar spine, causing the butt to tuck, which radiates pain down the glutes and the back and your hamstrings. So keep in mind, we are complex beings in how we store our physical reactions to stress and trauma. The multi-layered musculature in the body can respond in subtle, different ways in tension in one area from the other over many years of time. Then one day it shows up as deep radiating pain. The story within this pain can be very old. It could be years of buildup from childhood up to present day, or this pain could be a traumatic shock that is very new and fresh. The pelvis consists of 3 major bones. This is the center of the body. It's a hub of a lot of emotional attachment to our experiences. The bilateral ilium bones, which are the two large curved shaped bones of the pelvis. Each top ridge of the ilium bone is called a spine. Then, in the center between these two large bones, there is the sacrum bone. This is the triangular shaped bone at the end of your spine. Off the sacrum, there's an extension of the spine called the coccyx or the tailbone. There's a small joint that attaches the ilium to the sacrum on the both sides. This is called your SI joint or your sacroiliac joint. These joints on both sides, often with a tweak of your spine or a twist of the pelvis in just the wrong way, can pull these joints out. They're very small and they're very shallow. They stabilize with ligament, tendon, and muscle that originate in some points of the gluteal area, but they can still be yanked out quite easily, which causes pain. When those glutes tighten from stress, fear, or pain, it can pull that SI joint right out more and cause pain to radiate. This can cause that tension to move up into the lower part of your back and ribs, and it can also move down past the glutes into the legs and pull on the knee or create pain even in your feet. Pain in the knees can be due to very tight calves, hamstrings, or abductors, which are the inner thigh muscles, or your adductors at the outer thigh that lay beneath that ITT band. These can pull the knee ever so slightly out of alignment. Very often, it's all three of these areas that need manual release, being the back, the pelvis, and the legs. All symptoms of the lower two chakras, not in flow, right? Something is disrupting the connection there that comes from the mind and the experiences you perceive that have led to stuffing and clenching down into these two centers. When there is pain down to the legs, this can restrict your mobility in your hips, your knees, ankles, and your feet. Our feet are the foundation of our bodies. They carry us through life, quite literally. If the feet hurt or any other part of the body hurts, the feet take the brunt of compensation patterns. Pain in the legs and feet can mean there's turmoil within you about moving forward with a new choice that needs to be made. Think on that. If you have lower body pain and the legs or the feet hurt, is there a change in your life that you desire? What could be there in your life that needs to shift? And is there struggle around that shift in the best choice to make? It could also mean there is a lack of support in your life in any area of need that you feel lack. From an anterior side of the body or the front side, there is more going on there as well. The psoas muscle, as well as our deep abdominal muscles, hip flexors, and spinal stabilizers, are a huge problem in this kind of pain. The psoas major originates from the transverse vertebrae. So those are the little fingers that stick out of the sides of each vertebrae. The psoas then comes down through the center of the pelvis and attaches right below the head of your upper leg bone or your femur. It is long and skinny. There is actually a psoas minor, but it doesn't really do much, and some humans have even evolved into not having it anymore. It is the only muscle that connects the upper and lower parts of our bodies, aligning through the pelvic girdle. The psoas muscle is known for holding on to emotions deep inside the body, emotions like anger and sadness. It clenches down on these emotions. So can you picture this in your head, how one side has a tight psoas and how it could pull one femur bone up, which would then pull the ilium up which would then yank the SI joint out of alignment, which would then cause pain that radiates through the whole gluteal area and up the back and down the legs. This referral can also linger at the very top of your hip at the ilium spine and around the whole cheek in that area, causing burning pain and tension at the SI, and wrap around to the front side of that ilium and psoas area into the groin. The antagonistic muscles need work as well. These are the muscles on the opposite side from where you tell me it hurts. For example, working the psoas in front because your hip hurts in the back. The root cause of the pain is not always where it hurts the most. Keep in mind when you have pain, there's always more than one muscle causing the problem. We are layered and complex beings in how we respond to an emotional trigger, where we then stuff it. Think about how everything connects. Each muscle in the body has a tendon on each end that originates and attaches over a joint. When the body responds to trauma with emotional or physical pain, these muscles clench down hard and begin to guard against that pain. This quite literally pulls bones out of alignment and at the joint and creates trigger points within the muscle tissue. The clench compresses the layers and squeezes the life right out of them. The path of the pain can be subtle in its design, but it all compresses with clenching down and spreads the pain outward from its origin point. The layers of the tissues become unhealthy from the clenching and eventually evolves into a trigger point of pain. The tension bearing down into the pain or the trauma does not allow the tissue to receive the fluids and the nutrients it needs to be healthy and function well. The layers need to be lubricated and glide and slide as you move. They dry out with this clench, and toxins then build up, and it hurts more and more, and trigger points emerge more and more. As the tissues relax with awareness and letting go, the layers will lovingly soak up all that it needs like a sponge and begin the healing process. Toxins and lymph move out. Water, blood cells, vitamins, and nutrients move in, and your pain subsides and the range of motion increases. The body keeps a record of all the experiences you have been through. The nervous system stores them in your subconscious and in your tissues. These scenarios and stories mold and shape you. They create an identity within you that dictates your choices in how you see the world. It governs how you hold on and if you're willing to let go. The root chakra is our energy center for survival, for family, for safety, for trust in others close to us, judgment of our environment, doing life on your terms, making good choices, striving for the excellence while you're here, feeling a sense of belonging on earth, grounding to our mother, earth, feeling connected to our community and belonging to a tribe. Tribe being our connection to our friends and our family. And also functioning at a level that you desire in life. The sacral chakra is our place of sensuality, sexuality, pleasure, joy, creativity hangs out here. It governs the kidneys and the bladder and your reproduction. It governs your sexual organs and your spleen. It offers a sense of confidence in your sexuality as a woman or a man. Here you get a sense of contentment or lack thereof in your relationships with yourself and with others. This is the center of birthing life and mothering or fathering our children. This is a place where we came from. The womb of our mothers, a deep connection here to our mothers, or being a mother, Dysfunction here can be deeply rooted in abuse from parents or family that is supposed to keep you safe. As these centers relate to chronic pain, you must go deep. The past experiences that may have caused you emotional or physical pain can be stuffed in these lower centers. Each experience may have been stuffed in the same center depending on what happened and how you perceive it. We all have our spot where we stuff. Typically, when I see clients for lower chakra imbalances that have led to pain, there are patterns there. I'm not saying that this is in every case for every human, but I see it more times than not. If you can make a correlation in your own body and experiences that you've been through, that is just another tool to work with to alleviate the pain and move forward with more empowerment to change things for yourself. This is not to stir up past pains for anyone and create an emotional response in this moment. No, this is a moment to help you become more self-aware in hopes that connection will be made to help you let go of the clench and move forward without as much pain. When I see a client with lower body pain, I ask how this can be related to an emotional experience they may have had recently that could have been triggered. Here are some examples that you may find interesting and just kind of check in to see how you relate. There is usually something linked to money fears or fears of the unknown with the lower chakra imbalances. There is sometimes issues with clients where they feel stuck in a state of limbo or lack and fear around not having enough to survive. This could be a much desired career change or going back to school in your 40s. Change can be daunting and terrifying, and it can sit right there in your lower back and in your sacrum. The struggle is real to make a choice that can tense up your legs so much your knees hurt and you cannot make the next move forward. Our legs carry us forward, right? The energy pulls the legs back out of fear. The forward movement energy is out of the desire for that change. This creates a static feeling of limbo and tension that builds up in the legs, that there needs to be energy flowing there and there just isn't. The new perspective through some coaching will help you get unstuck here. Find someone to talk to help you make the right choice and get going with life. Imbalances in the lower two chakras has also been linked to physical and emotional abuse and fear around having your space invaded without permission. This can be both from a physical attack or an emotional one. This can cause problems with reproduction, wanting sex at all, overall health of your intimacy. It can affect internal organs in this area and sexual performance. This can cause pelvic pain, painful intercourse, incontinence, erectile dysfunction, hip pain, back pain, leg pain, etc. Are you getting the idea here? How these centers relate to pain, both emotionally leading to that physical pain component? Relationship issues are also a big one that I hear about. Discontent with their spouse and not knowing what to do next. Something needs to change in the relationship, but there is a ton of fear around it. The lower energy shut down and clenching happens. Or there is anger and resentment around uprooting the life that you know, and you clench all around your pelvis because that's your root, that's your connection to earth, and it could potentially be uprooted and completely change. It's scary, and it creates that tension buildup in that lower energy center. One can feel unwanted when the sacral and the root are not balanced. You can feel unrooted. You can have problems trusting others, feeling insecure. It could bring up a lot of anxiety and fear and anger. And you can be sad about something and it can be stuck in there. All these emotions can be stored in these lower two centers, causing a wide variety of lower body pain issues and imbalances. It can be issues with your parents even, and your siblings or your kids. It could be a feeling of loss and losing a tribal member. The scenarios go on, but I feel like you're getting the idea here. These are just a few of the endless scenarios, and I see it all the time. So now that we have a better understanding of the lower two centers and how they can relate to stuffing experiences, now what do? This is all great to know and may really give you a new perspective, but now how do you clear this and open up to the let go moment where you can allow your body to soften enough to let healing in? When we can open up new opportunities like this, it offers tools in our toolbox to use for the rest of our lives. So here are a few tips that are helpful. Step 1, awareness, of course, and the understanding and compassion around the fact that you have a vulnerable spot in your body where trauma likes to fester. We all have one. That spot where when triggered, the pain flares up, and dang it, there it is again. Can a thought trigger a spasm or a physical sensation in you? Does this happen when around certain people or even talking to certain people on the phone? Can this be triggered by a certain environment that you're in or the stress of the unknown? When you feel it fire up, what is happening around you in your environment at that time? What is your self-talk saying to you? Check in with those internal messages. Awareness of this is key for step 1. Step 2, not getting angry at the situation, noticing the trigger with an openness, not rage, not fear. Work on not being frustrated. These emotions will make you clench more, right? And defeat the point of this whole process. Speaking of clenching, this can be a very subtle hike of your hip or tightening of your butt cheek. The awareness of step 1 hopefully will guide you to this area where there is a stress response. Then you can notice it and you can consciously unclench it. You may have to do this many times over to kind of train yourself to notice it quickly. Emotions will come up, of course. Just acknowledge them with as much neutrality as you can for the sake of grounding into this moment at the time. The point here is to notice the subtleties of how your body responds to a thought. Do you follow me here? Step 3. This third step follows the unclench. Soften the bones deep within your clench. Breathe and exhale. Let go of the clench. Soften the joint within your pain. I know you're holding on there, so feel it. Soften the joint. Perhaps it is more than one joint. Check in. Is it your hip and your knee? Is it your lower back and your hip and your knee? Check in. Intentionally relax all of this area. Drop it, and drop it again. Soften your butt cheek. Then feel the ilium drop a bit. Feel the space from your pelvic spine to the ribs. Let the hip drop again to make more space there. Ask it to be nice, not to be demanding. This space is vulnerable and it's hurting. It holds a lot of memories and it tells its own story. This pain is part of you in a way. It identifies you in a way. Think of all the ways you have altered your life because of this pain. This is the time to promote loving, kindness, and positive energy into this space inside you. See a white light there. Breathe in the white light through the top of your head and guide it into the center of that pain and see it there. Let this light be healing, calming, and nurturing. Think of each exhale as a moment to unclench and let go in the moment. Each out breath sets a tone for letting go, even if it's a little micro movement at a time. Not owning this pain anymore, not letting it create and identify you. This will be a challenge, no doubt. But think about how long you have bared down on this pain. How long have you let this pain dictate your life? Just open to the softening into the area instead of resisting it. What resists persists, right? So the more we resist the unclench, the more we will get the clench. So just give it a whirl. Let go of the fear and the pain in this area that's part of you. Do this multiple times. Give thanks to the mind-body connection here, and be kind and grateful. Step 4. When you get the drop feeling and the let goes are working, this is when we check into the mind and self-talk. When you are doing this exercise, what are you thinking about? Check in. Are you present here, or are you grocery shopping in your head? Are you sending jabbing, sharp, blameful energy to anyone? Who is at fault for this pain in you? Check in here. This is the time to let all the negative thoughts and energy go with your out breath. Not blaming anyone, not shaming anyone, just a path here to feeling better. A feeling of surrender, if you will, into the pain. Doing the opposite, right? Your internal messaging for a long time has been to clench down and to have anxiety or anger or fear around the pain. Your internal messaging and self-talk might be of a negative vibration there, making the pain even worse and making you clench harder. Let's do the opposite today. Soften. Send loving messages of nurturing. And tell this part of you that it will be safe if it lets go in this moment. Be assured that you will be okay if this area drops and relaxes. Tell this area of your body that it is not vulnerable, and you will feel better if you just unclench and let your body soften. Step 5. As you feel your body letting go here and dropping the pain, the energy will begin to flow with a higher level of vibration. The higher vibration will promote more healing and balancing of these centers. It will decrease your pain, and it will elevate your mood. So as you sit with this idea and practice steps 1 through 4, I want you to also visualize, once you get the flow of things, turn that root chakra red. See that energy spinning as a ball of light hovering at your tailbone. Watch this light expand as you breathe energy into it and filling up the bowl of your pelvis as you watch that red energy travel and expand from ilium to ilium, and then moving down the legs, past your knees, ankles, and out through your feet. Get the flow of that for a moment, and then see that orange sacral center spinning behind the navel. Let this be expansive, saturating energy flow, healing the lower abdomen area and pelvis area. Watch it filling up and clearing any pain in your lower back, clearing any pain in your pelvic area or tailbone. See these the orange and the red energies swirling and moving and combining with one another. Watching this energy in both these centers spinning, it picks up the pain and inflammation. So visualize a bit of momentum and let it sweep out pain that's deep inside your pelvis or sitting in the lower back. Watch it sweeping and picking up inflammation that you have in there. See that energy as you breathe out, moving down the legs and out through the feet, giving you a feeling of clearing and completion at that pause moment between your exhale and your inhale. Repeat this practice over and over as you sit with it. Get a sense of clearing out and feeling that sense of emptiness at the end of every exhale, where there's a release moment and a sense of that energy moving out. Okay? And then to fill that space up, we need to incorporate some white light energy back into that area. So do you remember that step prior where we visualize that energy coming through the crown of the head? We want to invite that white light in. After you're done with the clearing process and it feels pretty good down there, then we want to fill that white light up and bring it in and put it right back into that space, that sacral and that root. Fill it up with that cooling white energy, bringing that invitation of healing and calming and nurturing into that space. And watch that white light fill up that lower abdomen and fill up the pelvic bowl, and watch that energy move down the legs, filling up the knees, the ankles, and the feet. Sit with this high vibration and really feel that feeling of electricity moving through your body. It will make you feel good. It again will take your pain away, and it will give you a sense of control of your body and that energy that is creating the pain, and then a tool to release and let go of that pain and remove it from your field. I also want to emphasize the importance of self-care. I know with my pain and energy healing, I often need the guidance of others. Yes, I do practice regular self-care. As a healer, a body worker, and highly sensitive empath, it is crucial to my well-being to get my body worked on and keep the balance feeling groovy. You may need help, and that's a perfectly beautiful thing, to go to a body worker and get the healing that you need. That is why we are here as healers, to help others to feel more connected and without the drain of physical and emotional pain weighing them down. Whether this is an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, therapeutic massage, or energy healing, to move block energy in those lower centers, get the help you need to feel your best. Whatever resonates with you, self-care makes an enormous difference in your well-being and internal sense of power. Thank you for listening. Have a good week. That's a wrap for today, folks. Thanks for spending the time with me. And don't forget to check the notifications below on my social media links, my YouTube channel with self-care and meditations, as well as my omshantihealing.com website, where you can get info on spiritual coaching and my online courses. And as always, if you do enjoy my podcast, don't forget to subscribe or sponsor below. We'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.